Brand new details surrounding Xbox's plans for a handheld gaming console leaked this week, along with early reports for Xbox's plans for their next-gen console. Yeah, this was a big story from this week, and I find it very funny, because anytime we talk about Xbox, right, there's like this roller coaster of a ride we've been on, right? It's like, are they in gaming? Are they giving up on gaming? Are they into hardware? Or are they not doing hardware? Like, that's literally what the last 6 months have been. You know, you see Xbox launching games on rival platforms. You got Sea of Thieves, you got Indiana Jones, you got Forza, all coming to PlayStation and PC and Nintendo, and it's like, oh, they're giving up on the Xbox platform. Hardware means nothing, and it turns out this week, Xbox is still very committed to Xbox hardware because we've got Xbox handhelds and we got Xbox next-gen console details. So first up, let's pull it up. Jez Corden of Windows Central posted an article stating that Xbox's long-rumored Xbox handheld would be launching later this year. Which, look, I'm not going to question ballsiness of corporations here in America. I just have to say, launching your handheld the same year as the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying I love the audacity. I love the audacity of corporations. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care that Nintendo as a little kid just came to the table and put their Lunchables down. Big boy Xbox is coming over and he's pushing that Lunchable aside and he throw down his lunch and he's like, hey, I'm here too. Now, Jez Corden of Windows Central continued on the article to say Microsoft is essentially working with a PC gaming OEM, Asus, Lenovo, MSI, or Razer to produce an Xbox branded gaming handheld that will be PC orientated to run Windows, PC Game Pass, and Steam. Which the news of Xbox's brand new gaming handheld raises a bunch of questions for me. One, you got the Switch 2, you got the PlayStation Portal, you got the Steam Deck, you got the Logitech G Cloud, you got the Asus Rogue, and now an Xbox handheld. Which one do you go with? Why do you pick that one? Now, personally for me, I was leaning towards the Switch 2, but in the most recent weeks, I've been looking at the Steam Deck. I think that thing looks extremely appealing. It's very attractive for the type of gaming that I'm doing right now, but also you got the Nintendo Switch 2. You got a bunch of exclusives that are going to be coming to that platform. You don't want to ignore those. You don't want to sleep on that. So yeah, which one do you pick? Let me know in the comment section which one you think is going to be the biggest seller for this year. I'm interested to hear your feedback on that one. Now, carrying on with the story. Jez Corden did a great job over at Windows Central, but Tom Warren of The Verge, not to be one-upped, he came out and said, hold up, we got some details that everybody needs to know about this story. And Tom Warren basically came out and not only confirmed that he has heard the same details, but also stated that these handhelds are a part of Microsoft's plans to merge the Microsoft and Xbox ecosystem into one. But also, Tom Warren came out and confirmed that the partner creating this third, there's no need to say Lenovo, there's no need to say MSI, it's going to be Asus. But, big caveat here, it's not going to run Xbox games. That's right, it's going to run Windows. So, Xbox games in the Xbox ecosystem technically won't run unless those are Xbox Play Anywhere games on Xbox Game Pass PC or Xbox Cloud Gaming. And technically, now that I'm thinking about it, PlayStation games. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of like an ironic backdoor situation for Xbox where for years, PlayStation's been like, we're not going to put our games on your consoles. So like Phil Spencer behind the scenes like, well, okay, you're not going to put them on our consoles. Maybe we'll make our consoles run the platforms where you're putting them on. So PlayStation's like, hey, Spider-Man 2, it's now available on Steam. Ghost of Tsushima, now available on Steam. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Xbox is working with PC manufacturers to say, hey, let's create an Xbox handheld and an Xbox console that runs like a PC. So you could install Steam on our consoles, backdooring PlayStation games. So we're literally going to get to a point where PlayStation games like Spider-Man, Last of Us, Horizon, Days Gone, all of those games will be able to run on Xbox hardware, which I find very fascinating. And again, you know, we list all those handhelds earlier, all the different options on the market, knowing that the PlayStation games will eventually be available onto the Xbox. How does that change the landscape? Does that cause more people to jump into it? As far as like when we can expect for this handheld to launch, your guess is as good as mine. Windows Central Jez Corden did say that he heard internally that it will be revealed this summer and then launched later this year, but the economy that we are in is wild. I mean, we already talked about the fact that we're in a recession, right? Thick thighs in video games, as players like those, if players gravitate to thick-thighed women, that means we're in a recession. So spoiler alert, my friends, we are officially in a recession. What does that mean here? Maybe Microsoft pumps the brakes. maybe Microsoft says, hey, let's hold off. Let's start slowing this down. We're not going to launch this year. Let's let the economy get a little better. Let's let people get more jobs. And then we'll launch this hardware when people have extra money to spend on it. So yeah, anytime you're going to hear something like this, if it's not coming from Xbox, obviously take it with a grain of salt. Now, outside of the handheld, obviously the other big story here is Windows Central talking about Xbox's next-gen console, to which Windows Central Jez Corden quoted sources internally who said that Microsoft has currently slated 2027 as the launch year for Xbox's next-gen console, and it's already been greenlit by management, which, wow, that feels extremely fast. And again, I'm speaking as a Sony fan and as someone that has played majority of this generation on the PlayStation 5. For me, I feel like next gen it's too soon, right? Even like when Sony announced like the PlayStation 5 Pro, I was like, no, yeah, we're not ready for this. So, you know, I look at my PlayStation 5 and I don't feel like it's maxed out. Right? It was easier when we were in the PlayStation 4 generation because that console, every time I played a video game, its fan would literally scream like a F-15 jet engine. Just, I'd turn on Last of Us and it'd be like that's all you would hear in the background. So when the PlayStation 5 came out, I was like, yep, you know what? It's time. It's ready. We need a new PlayStation. If Sony came to me today and was like, PlayStation 6 next year, get ready, I'd be like, no. I'm sticking with my PlayStation 5. I don't need to upgrade. And again, I say that as a Sony guy. I've also played video games on Xbox this generation. And the idea that Xbox can't handle games today is kind of weird. Because I played Indiana Jones. I played Hellblade. I also played Starfield. And I didn't really feel like those games were struggling on the Series X. I didn't feel like they were pushing the Series X to its limit. And again, if anything, I feel like this generation, the criticism hasn't been around the Xbox Series X. It's been around the Series S. So for them to be like, yeah, new console, I'm like, well, hold up. This thing's doing perfectly just fine. And again, that's just my opinion. I'd love to hear your comments on this and your opinions in the comment section down below. So please sound off. But that being said, Jez Corden did say his sources are saying that Microsoft moving forward will basically have the focus upon one next-gen console, a gaming handheld, and other controller options being available. So that is what the future of Xbox will look like. Next-gen console, obviously, we'll wait and see kind of why that's going to be better than the Xbox Series X. Xbox does have a little bit of selling on that end for me. They're going to have to sell me hard on why I need to upgrade to that console. A gaming handheld, I think sounds dope. I think it's cool. I wish it was native Xbox software, but it sounds like Xbox is moving to a Windows environment, so it makes sense that they're kind of trying to get everything over to there. New controller options. I will say, we talked about this, I think it was last year on the show. Xbox currently is working on a Wi-Fi enabled controller, kind of like the old school Stadia controller. And if Xbox launches a Wi-Fi controller to work with cloud gaming, that's going to be so awesome. Because say what you will about Google Stadia, but their controller was absolutely fantastic for cloud gaming. It didn't connect to your TV via Bluetooth. It didn't have like, oh, you got to communicate through your TV to the Wi-Fi. No, the controller itself was Wi-Fi enabled. So the controller communicated directly to the cloud servers, which then communicated back to your TV. And it worked marvelously for that platform. And I think if Xbox did come out with like a Wi-Fi enabled controller, it would elevate their cloud gaming platform massively. So anyway, interesting news for Xbox. We'll obviously be paying very close attention to these stories as they develop and covering them here on the channel.